Allie Soldiers. Welcome to my first wrap-up of 2019. I have officially decided that this year I'm just gonna do hauls and I'm just gonna do wrap-ups. So this is a new format. Very scared, very nervous. It's just so different from everything I've ever done before. Let's talk about my books that I read in January of 2019 and what I thought about all of them. First one I will mention is the one that I was most excited for, so I might be like a little bit biased, but that is Wicked King by Holly Black. Ooh, look at that shift. Ooh, ooh, girl, get it. This is a sequel to Cruel Prince, and I know Cruel Prince had a little bit of a mixed audience. I personally loved it because Holly Black is the goddess of all things dark fairy, which I happen to love. Holly Black outdid herself with this one because what the hell, Holly Black? How could you do that to me? I trusted you! But I guess that's the problem with fairies. You just can't trust them. My favorite thing about this book is that throughout the first two books, it is pounded into your head that fairies are tricksy, they always have double meanings in their words, they can't lie, but they will make the truth dance all night long. And throughout this entire book, you're constantly like, what do they actually mean? What does that actually mean? What are they not saying? Like, you're constantly like trying to catch up with what's happening. And the ending still came in as a surprise, and I was so mad, and I was so happy, and it was just, ooh, that was a good twist I did not see coming. Well done, Holly Black, well done. The second book to mention is also a little fairy tale-esque, and that is A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. When I first heard about this, I thought that this is going to be a typical Beauty and the Beast retelling, because we got the cursed prince in the castle that is also cursed in this place that never changes seasons, and the girl from another world who is destined to save him, and I was like, okay, I guess. But this blew me away. For starters, the main character has cerebral palsy, which is super cool because disability in a fantasy novel is practically unheard of. And I love the fact that because she's from the mortal contemporary world and then she gets put into this fantasy world, she is not putting up with anybody's shit. It is a gritty, strong female character, one of the best written female characters I've read in a very long time. The fact that she has a disability just makes her character more rich, and I love how that came into play throughout the whole thing. And this prince is one of my favorite cursed princes I have ever read because of the way that he thinks about the stuff and the way he thinks about his kingdom and his curse is actually pretty unique considering this is like a Beauty and the Beast type novel. She took it outside the box and I really liked where it went, and there is a very interesting side character that came into the plot twist so well, and oh, what a great idea. I kind of wish that I had written this book personally. So, that says anything, do recommend. Then there was a book that every time I went by in the bookstore, I made eye contact with because it was freaking beautiful and it seemed really cool. And you know what? It damn well was, and that was Empire of Sand by Tasha Suri. So we have a Middle Eastern fantasy novel that takes place in the desert, partially in a cult, has to do with dancing to control the dreams of the gods. Oh my god, it was perfect. It was exactly what I wanted. I loved this book so much. Our main character went through a fantastic character development arc. I love the way that she came into herself and started to realize that she is part of something bigger, and the thing that she is part of is just so mind-boggling, and the ending of it was so beautiful, very cinematic. The love story was such a good slow burn, and I love how they cannot technically get together. This whole forbidden romance has a really good reason for it being, which is also like a super fucked up reason, but that's why I really liked it. This is technically an adult fantasy, and she did not shy away from it being an adult fantasy, but that's what I love because it was gritty and it was real and it was intense and it was themes that are like that make you think and that aren't in a typical YA novel. So if you are like looking for crossover books, this is a really good one because, ooh, genies and demons and sand cults, and oh man, this was great. On a similar vein with demons in the desert, I read The Demon Race by Alexandria Warwick, which is a book that I was so highly anticipating last year, and it was a damn good novel. So every 1,000 years there is something called the Demon Race, where you have to catch a demon that emerges from the underworld, and then you can ride it across the desert, and if you win this challenge, you know, you'll get glory and wishes and all that heaped upon you. But the demons will try and take over your mind, and the process of that happening and the main character like realizing it's happening and kind of turning to the dark side was so cool. The main character was a girl that, you know, needs this wish so she can wish herself on an arranged marriage, and then as she learns about some of the other contestants, it's this big like gray morality spot, and the pacing was so intense because we're on a race and we need to get to the end, and the end city is like this demon city, and yeah, I am on board. I'm on that demon. I am running that race because at the end of the race there's another Arabian book that has a demon in it. I'm all the way there. Okay, let's talk about something a little less demony, because I know it's not for everybody. Let's talk about math. Let's talk about The Gilded Wolves by Rashni Chokshi. Normally, I would not touch math with a 10-foot library cart. I don't want to read about math. I left math in high school. I don't want it resurfacing in a medium that I enjoy in a fantasy novel. And yet, dare I say I enjoyed a fantastical math book? Oh god, it just sounds wrong. What a unique fantasy concept. So this takes place in France during the First World Fair, and there are a bunch of old magical families that are very snobby as to who is going to be in line as, like, the heir of each house. And we have a disgraced heir here who runs a hotel along with his camaraderie of friends who are all super interesting. I think there's one white person, and she happens to be autistic. It was amazing. I loved her character so much. Then there's a bunch of great LGBT representation and a lot of diverse ethnicities in here. Oh man, and not even do we get a bunch of like sassy French people, but we also get some amazing like mathematical processes with magic, which is not something that I would put together, but she made it work. Like the magical process, you know, is a spiral, and you can divide a spiral, you know, into the math. I haven't taken math in like 6 years, okay? I don't know what I'm talking about. And the degree that the magic has to hit this thing is like really important to, you know, releasing this other thing. And then it was really a concept that I had not thought about before, and I really love that she made it work, you know? Definitely her best writing yet. I really would recommend this for something that's like a little bit different of a fantasy novel, and I really can't wait for the sequel. Now that we're almost near the end, I feel kind of bad that I haven't mentioned a single contemporary, so here's a contemporary that I haven't finished yet, but I started, and that is The Love and Lies of Roxana Ali. Sabina Khan came to my bookstore that I work at, and I ran her signing event, so I got to get a beautiful... Wait, where is it? Where is it? Oh god, a bookmark. I got to get a beautiful signed copy, and she was really nice, and I am so excited to start this book. So this follows our main character of Roxana, who is a East Asian queer teenager, and when her family finds out that she has a girlfriend, they send her away to the extended family in Bangladesh, where everything is very intolerant, very strict, and that culture is very big on arranged marriages. So as she goes to this other place and she feels really out of place in a place that is her culture, she kind of finds, you know, the courage to be herself. And as far as I know, it has to do with like learning about, you know, extended family and how everyone's family has secrets kind of thing. I really want to read this because this is not a culture that is my own, and I'm very interested in this person's perspective on it. I also love me some good LGBT representation, and I feel like this is a book that's going to be big. Like, it's going to be very important because it is. So if you haven't seen this on your shelf already, you should make your bookstore or library order it. And last but certainly not least is a book that I haven't also finished yet, but I'm a good like halfway through, and it's really good, and that is King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. Y'all know it has to be on this list somewhere, because look at it! It's so pretty! Wait for it, let's see it naked. This is the spicy content on the internet that you were waiting for, right? Oh! I'm gonna start crying, it's so beautiful. So yeah, King of Scars is a continuation from the Shadow and Bone series that she does with a character of Nikolai, and he is he's one of my favorite characters from that series. I'm so glad that she's giving him his own duology. And this is after the events of Shadow and Bone and Six of Crows, so if you haven't read either of those series, you need to, because there's major spoilers in this. Oh man, are we facing some real good demons. I am completely immersed in this story. I love returning to this world. I kind of forgot how much I liked it. And we get characters Nina and Zoya from both Shadow and Bone and Six of Crows in here, and they were both some of my favorites too, so we get some strong, kick-ass female characters who are also spies and like super badass, and I love them so much. I want to give them a hug, but I think both of them would probably try and kill me on the spot. That's okay, that's friendship. So there you have it. There is my first wrap-up of the new year, and I did pretty good. There's a couple on here that I didn't mention just because I read some advanced copies and also some books that didn't really like that much. So I did join Goodreads this year. It was part of my New Year's resolution, so I will leave the link down below and you can go check out what else I read and what I thought about them. Please leave down below what you read in January, or if you have any thoughts on the books that I did, because there's some good conversation pieces in here, okay guys? Like, this was a good month. You guys need to get out there with the remainder of your Christmas money, however dwindled off it is, need to get at least one of these guys. If you ever need a good enabler, just call me. Yeah, just shoot me an email, give me a call. I'm here. You know where to like the video, you know where to click to subscribe. I hope you guys are all having a nice day wherever you are, and I will see you all next week. Bye!